Next claim is that trans women are not women.
Uh-oh. This might be one of the most controversial of all.
Okay. What's your name?
Sam.
Nice to meet you. Let's define our terms.
They will be the person that come up first. I couldn't tell if this person was Android 17 or 18.
A woman is an adult female with XX chromosomes. You tell me, what is a woman?
I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So that's...
No, I didn't expect that voice. I thought it was going to more be like, I think a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. But instead, I think a woman is someone who identifies as a woman. Oh, no. Lord, take the wheel. And I ain't talking about the orphanages. Those are the homies. Those are the homies right there. They help protect us.
Okay. What's your name?
Sam.
Nice to meet you. Let's define our terms. A woman is an adult female with XX chromosomes. You tell me, what is a woman?
I think a woman is somebody who identifies as a woman.
Got it. So that's not a definition. That's like saying a table is something that identifies as a table. Give me an objective definition.
And I'm static shock. Even though I can't electrify or electrify anything.
Definition
No,
of
it's
how...
not. A table is an object.
Well,
A table can't identify as anything. It doesn't have choice.
You have to give me an objective definition of what a woman is.
If I decided right now that I wanted to identify as a woman, I would be a woman.
Okay, but that's not...
But what if you cut your hair? Does it still apply? Or like my man said the other day, race does not apply. In case y'all don't know what the heck I'm talking about, it's like, it's another video I reacted to. Jerry Springer, KKK versus Hebrew Israelites. That was funny. Check that out.
I know, but right now I'm a man, right? So if that happened right now, I'd be a woman. So once a person makes the decision to identify as a woman,
got it. No,
they're a woman.
That's a separate issue. What is a woman?
That's the definition.
No, I know, but you have to tell me what...
A person who identifies themselves as a woman.
But you have how do you know that they are that thing?
How do I don't need to know what they are. I can ask them if I want to know.
You don't need to know?
You need to tell me what that thing is, though.
Somebody who... Okay, sorry, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere.
Well, no, it's important because it's like saying a giraffe is a thing that looks like a giraffe or a coyote.
You cannot identify yourself. The Lord has already done that before you was born.
Coyote's a thing that looks like a coyote. It's called circular reasoning. You have to give me a actual definition.
I don't have to... I did give you a definition.
No, you said that a woman is something that thinks they're a woman. That doesn't give me a definition. That's simply...
What would you consider a definition then?
An adult female with XX chromosomes.
No. I mean, like, what makes that a definition?
Yeah, they didn't want to hear him no more. They was like, nope.
And do you have a clean driving record? Did you know you could pay as low as $19 a month in car insurance? How? It's super easy.
I did not know that.
Click below, enter your zip code, tell us some basic information, and you'll have the cheapest car insurance quote in less than 60 seconds.
All right, tell your boss I said hi. And bye. No offense. Oh, thank goodness.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank goodness.
Juliana.
Thank goodness we could not let him back in. That guy, he was gonna blame God on it. I don't know. I just have the feeling though that he was gonna try to blame God for the people. I call them the gender pretenders. He's gonna blame God for them acting out of line like they always do. It's like, no, bro. Take some accountability. You gonna blame God because how fast you talk too? No, you doing that. You know you can slow down if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that you can define a woman just by her chromosomes. Women are so much more than that. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors. And I don't necessarily think that you can count out somebody who's trans.
What's the first thing she gonna yell out as an insult if her man was caught cheating on her with her home girl that happens to be one of the gender pretenders? What you gonna call them? All kind of slurs.
Just because they don't have a certain set of chromosomes. There are also people who are born... I'm drawing a blank.
Okay. Intersex?
Yes.
So XXY or YYX.
Or just
They don't count.
Nothing.
So natural mutations upon the binary, essentially, right?
Yes. So,
but they don't have both sex organs that both operate, right?
Yeah, but
so therefore they do not apply.
that also I don't think necessarily works, right? Because if it's X,
One
just
is more
X,
dominant
and
than
there's
the other. So
Okay,
you're either
that's-
more male or more female, right? So you might have both a penis and vagina, but there's never been a case of someone who can impregnate themselves.
Oh,
Okay. I also don't necessarily think that works for this situation, but I also want to say that one of my best friends is trans, and I would say that she's.
what did I say? And imagine if this person ended up with her man in between the sheets, listening to some Ron Isley or some Isley Brothers. Ooh, baby, baby. What the heck she gonna call that person? She not gonna call them what they identify as. She gonna call them all kind of slurs. I guarantee it. Out of anger. And I guess they gonna make an excuse for her. I ain't. I'm gonna be like, look. I can't believe she said this. She never loved her friend.
More of a woman than I am. I think that women define themselves by multiple things, not just their sex organs. If somebody asked me who I was as a woman, I would not say I have a vagina.
Totally fair.
I
See,
would.
No, I think you said something smart. So you said that person is more of a woman than you are. Therefore, you're grading off a definition of something accomplishes womanhood.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think
You might as well give them your birthright as whatever you is. You know, like Esau did to Jacob. Therefore, you can't identify as that anymore. It's been taken. Sorry. Next.
it's, well, that's the thing too. And I do think that gets a little complicated, right? Because there are social norms for a gender, but I do think we try to break that, right?
No, for sure. But you said that specific friend is more of a woman than you are. Why?
I think she's a better person than me. I think she
So
lives
women are
life.
better people?
She's a better woman than I am. I'm not saying women are better people.
But what makes a woman? Because you said she's more of a woman than you are. So I want to know what that definition is.
Yeah, how is that person more of that than
okay.
you?
I'm gonna let somebody else go.
okay.
Yeah, you a man then. Next.
Thank you.
Shoot, you either one or the other. You the man then. That's what it's gonna come to in the future. They're gonna start calling them the men. They're already talking about sis, whatever the freak that is. What they call you, a pimple? Oh no.
All right, Parker. What is a woman?
No.
A woman is an adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex. Now,
Got it.
define a man. Define a man.
You're looking at one. XY chromosomes and A.
That's
but
it.
Does God the Father have XY chromosomes
back
prior to
the-
incarnation?
We
You see, he mad at the Lord still. He's still mad at the Lord. It's like, bro, Satan not gonna help you. He's not. He's not gonna help you. He's gonna condemn you. He's all for himself. He always been for himself. That third of them angels, they found out the hard way, and they trying to beg Enoch. I know some people believe this, some don't. I believe it. I believe it happened. I believe they was really trying to beg Enoch, please, please. We didn't mean to follow this guy. It was his plan. It wasn't ours. And Enoch is like, sorry, there's nothing I can do.
Literally have a religious
He's
topic
a
later.
father and he's him, but he's not a man.
We have a religious
Wait, so
topic
a
later.
man is someone with XY chromosomes, but he doesn't
Okay.
have XY chromosomes, yet he's still a man, and he still
so
uses preferred
it's
pronouns?
actually very interesting. In the original Hebrew, Adonai, do you know what Adonai is? It's the Hebrew word for God.
God,
It's
yeah.
actually
Yeah.
genderless, but in the scriptures, they use he, right? And they use the masculine. Jesus Christ came to earth as
He too strong to be feminine. That's all it is to it.
a man, not as a woman, not as genderqueer. But let's go back to the
But God the Father's a man, right?
Well,
Because all fathers are men.
Well, first of all, there's a
He's
Trinity.
above
God the
that.
Father is neither man nor woman. He is omniscient, omnipotent. He is all being
He's above all that.
on top
So
of
why
it.
do you use he?
Well, I did not. The scriptures do. You could use
That's it.
woman. You could say her.
Get mad at the book. Don't get mad at us.
You could use him. But the way that the language is structured, again, it is so. God the Father is so above gender. It is so above any of our understanding.
Then why use
His
him?
Above at
glory and
all.
understanding. Again, because you have to make a choice, either he or him or her in the original scriptures. Let's go back to. I'm happy
Some
to get into
fathers
that,
aren't men and boys?
but- So I'm.
So
not-
some fathers
I'm
are not men and boys,
well,
not men or
well,
boys.
I'm sorry.
I done told him, look, if you're mad at God, take it up with him. I'm not God.
Sorry. What
Some
do you-
fathers are not male.
No, of course they are. I'm not.
Wait, so God the Father's a male?
Hold on. God the Father. So where do we get God the Father from? What Greek
Well,
word?
from your scripture.
Well, from Abba, right, which is a very close personal term.
You're not answering my
right?
questions, and you're bringing up random language that doesn't
No,
matter.
Well, it actually does.
No, it
okay?
doesn't.
But let me get down to the root of it, because
Because he's not a man. You know he's not a man under your worldview.
This guy, he always get annoyed and mad when the dude don't give him the answer that he want. He act like a female. You know how females do that junk? They don't want to tell you what's on their mind. They want you. Well, not all females. Some don't want to even tell you what's on their mind. They expect you to know what's on their mind. It's like, you're dating me. You're not dating the Lord. The Lord gonna already know what's on your mind. Come on now. The heck? And even though the Lord can see what's on people's mind, he never told them that. They figured out, after a while they figured it out, but he never told them, like, oh, look, I can read her mind, this person's mind. Nah. He was more humble than that.
Still uses preferred pronouns. You still call him a man.
Christ is a
but
man.
You don't do that with trans people because you're transphobic. That's why.
Okay, got it. But Christ is a man. Get into
How about you get with one then if you love him so much?
the sexuality.
Marry him
Before
too.
incarnation, he's not.
The Trinity, okay?
Before incarnation,
Okay.
there's no penis, there's no XY chromosomes, there's no small
hold on a
gametes.
second. Let's think about it. If that's correct,
That freak?
how is it then Jacob?
You got
saw the
one now,
face of
don't you?
God?
You got one now,
After
don't you?
pull the trigger,
The
can
heck?
be the
Or do
most
you wanna remove
heart-pounding
it?
moment of a self-defense.
You want to be so
incident.
dedicated to the
And what
movement?
happens
Remove
next
that.
could be the difference between staying home with your family or spending a lifetime behind bars. Hi, I'm Kevin Michalowski, executive editor of Concealed Carry magazine. If you carry a firearm for self-defense, then training with your firearm is not enough. You need to be prepared.
That remind me of that song. This commercial remind me of that song that No Limit had back in the day. I don't know whether they was making gun sounds or what. I'm like, is that gun sounds? I don't know.
for what comes after you defend yourself.
Ah!
That's why the USCCA created the guide, 6 Things You Didn't Know Would Happen When the Police Arrive.
And y'all cop that. Y'all cop that. If y'all want that. If you live in one of those states that, that you don't know for sure. If you could carry or not.
Okay, so
2A forever,
Hold
baby.
on. If there was not before the incarnation, how did Jacob see the face of God? How did Jacob wrestle with God?
characters can have faces without biology.
How did Jacob wrestle with God?
Yeah, how did Jacob wrestle with him?
Okay, do you think that he has a body?
Well,
Or was that a figurative notion of wrestle?
That's a mystery of the scriptures. I'm not here.
That's a
Well, it
mystery.
is. I'm not here to debate.
They don't tell us
theology. Can we go
everything.
back to
So,
what we're
but
talking
does he
about
actually
here,
have biology? You keep trying to pick.
He talking to him like he's the Bible himself. No, Jesus is the Bible himself. You need to go speak to him in private. And he'll show
because
you,
you know this
what you need to know.
Well,
what
it doesn't-
what biology
it
does your
doesn't-
God have?
Well, the one of Christ our Lord.
No, I meant
right?
before incarnation.
Well, to be honest, I don't quite know, and I
You
don't think
know?
the scriptures
So
are.
you don't know what a
little-
man is?
Well,
You can't define what a man is?
It's a little opaque. Again, you're looking at a man.
But your video,
God-
the largest video on TikTok is what is a woman? 20 million views. But you don't know what a
Yes.
man is under your
Well,
own worldview.
I said you're looking at a man, right?
Wait, but
Am I
God
looking
the
at a
Father
man?
doesn't meet that criteria.
Am I looking at
Yes,
a man?
you are.
Okay, good. Just making
A
sure.
man that's beating you in a debate right now.
Okay, that's fine. So let me ask you a question though. So, do you think that anybody
Pivot.
can become a woman?
I think that anyone who meets my criteria is a woman.
What's your criteria again?
Again, adult human person that has a desire to be in accordance with a particular set of social and cultural norms that are typically associated with the female sex.
So basically, you just said what the girl said. That anybody who identify as that is that.
Society ever be wrong?
Sure, but like it's a desire to be in accordance with
Got
a
it.
set of social and cultural norms.
Can I
It's not
become black if
society
I
is
wear
right.
blackface?
No, because it's not a desire that you have to be in accordance
I
with a
don't.
particular set of
What
social
if
and
somebody
cultural
wants
norms.
to be black?
Because race is defined phenotypically based upon the expression to other people.
But you're by some standard you're judging that.
Do you think there's a phenotypical expression of someone who's white and someone
One is real and one is fake, right?
who's black? Like I see you're white because of your phenotypical expression.
That's just his tone. We all the same color, just different tones of it.
Right. So, but do you think? But Rachel Dolezal that said she is black and culturally black, is she black?
Does she have phenotypically characteristics we would associate
Define
with people who are
phenotypical. I'm not sure what that word means.
black? It's going to be the expression.
So
of a
melanin
particular
content in one's
characteristics.
skin?
Yes.
Okay. So she could pass as a black person.
Yeah.
Wait, so she doesn't have the
I
melanin
guess.
content?
She's borderline.
No.
Heavily.
Okay, so then she's not black.
Okay. So you're able to say who is black and not black?
Are you able to do that? Ah, this reminds me of what Candace was saying to Ray J and them. I got that one coming out soon too. I gotta edit it a bit because I slipped up. Almost like I was ice skating uphill, like Blade would say.
That's how we define it in society. No.
Okay, got it. So, but is
You
there
cursing
objective
now?
definition of who is
What the
black?
freak?
Wait, language is all subjective. Linguistics professionals indicate it's subjective.
Why didn't y'all been raise y'all flag? I guess they get a kick out of seeing him go up there and waste time. I don't
Language
know.
is all subjective.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Every
really?
word you just used was
For them to not raise their flags by now, that's how you know most of them probably watches that guy Destiny or something, right? If he talk slower, I could watch him. I can't really watch him, but he talk too fast. I have to watch him probably in slow motion or something.
created by other human beings that are engaging in conversation.
No, now
you
we're
might think it's created by God, but even then it's still subjective.
But now
because it came from
we're
God.
getting somewhere.
God's the subject.
Now we're getting somewhere. Is the word and the value behind murder objective or subjective?
Well, I think morality is subjective, but you think it's subjective
it is.
too because
So,
it comes
hold on.
from God.
That's interesting.
Wait,
So-
does it come from God or independent of God?
Well, no, of course it comes from God. It's
If
transcendent.
that's true,
it's
that's
transcendent
subjective.
human beings.
That's
No, it's not.
subjective. Yes, it is.
No.
If it comes from God, it's specifically subjective. If it comes independent of God, then it's objective.
No,
what
it's
you just told me
God-
is
God is
also
objective
compatible
morality.
with moral anti-realism.
So let's go back to the Ten Commandments.
You don't understand
right?
metaethics.
Well, I hold on a second.
What
Let's
does subjective morality mean? What does it mean?
Subjective morality
Define
means
it.
that it comes in everybody's own opinion, their own form,
True
not
dependent upon a
objective.
stance.
Again,
God is a stance, and that's the truth
hold on
of
a second.
morality.
So if let's believe. Do you believe in the if everybody believed in the concept of God, the transcendent God, that there was a Ten Commandments and we should live by them, right? Is that objective morality?
No. Just because
So-
people agree
so
doesn't
then-
make it
so, okay,
objective.
then what-
Again, independent of a
Then
stance.
what is
Agreeance is not independent of a stance.
What is objective morality then? Sorry, thanks. We'll be back at it next time.
Please no. Don't bring him back up. He do too much.
Mason, how are you? Nice to meet you. Okay.
So
Goodness.
I think it's a little scummy that you're plagiarizing the whole Matt Walsh thing. Like your
Dude,
thing is
I pay
the
him
worship of Israel and everything like that.
Matt Walsh. I think I know that name, don't I? Who is Matt Walsh again? Okay, so this guy's Charlie. Who is Matt Walsh? Is Matt Walsh the guy that made the what is a woman documentary? And then made the Am I a Racist documentary? Or that's not him? Or am I getting things screwed up? I don't know.
Pay him
like-
royalties.
Okay, for sure. Well, do you want to talk about sex first, or do you want to talk about gender?
I don't think gender exists. I think it's a term that John Money and Judith Butler created over the last 40 years that basically is a filler for personalities.
Okay, well, if we're talking
Whoa.
about sex, which
Okay,
it
I
seems
never
like
heard
you're
of
saying
that.
is the exact same thing, would you say sex is binary?
He said gender not even real. Ha! What? That's the same thing I believe about race. I guess we both extreme.
For sure, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so you're
And they're-
already
they're-
incorrect. Like sex is not binary; it's bimodal. So if we look at a distribution graph, we're going to see people in two camps majority of the time, but there are going to be
but
externalities on both ends of the spectrum and in the middle.
For example, like
so we already
intersex,
talked about
right.
intersex. Correct.
However,
And why does dude kind of look like Toma Tonga?
with intersex though, they are mutations of a binary. correct?
No, we're talking about.
Hold on, but which
we're
one
talking
is-
about an entire
which-
spectrum.
which
like
se- which sex
you're
organ
by
is
definition
dominant, though?
defeating your expression of what a binary is by saying that there are externalities.
But let me ask you a question. That like XXY.
Charlie,
example,
you're
what-
trying
what-
to create this
what-
own box and then use any examples that are outside of that
No, but
box
you brought
to
up
justify that box again.
You brought up intersex.
We're talking about reality.
You brought up intersex.
Okay.
What sex organs? Which one is more dominant?
This whole, TR, the rest of the letters thing is something that's just not real. It's not real. It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
What do you mean?
In an XXY situation.
Can you explain your point of view?
Yeah, I
on
mean,
that?
obviously you have more female characteristics and male characteristics in an XXY, or it might be YYX. One of the two. The point is that you do not have both.
We could see people with female reproductive organs that have XY, and we can see the vice versa, people
So-
with male reproductive organs that have XX.
It's
So
a
I
waste
think
of time.
You said something about gender, though. I think that's more interesting to get into.
Okay,
Do you
cool.
understand how the
So
conversation?
we're moving off of sex because you're ceding that argument.
No, I'm not ceding it.
Okay.
You want to keep going into it?
We can if you'd
Oh,
like.
okay. So besides male and female, what categories exist?
We have people that are intersex. We have people that
You
are
gotta
on
be
the other
kidding me.
ends of the bimodal distribution
Like-
graph. Are you aware what bimodal means versus binary?
No.
Somewhat of an understanding. yeah.
Okay, well,
So
you
I'm-
can
I'm-
be presented with a graph after this by the people that you brought with you, but it's actually a bimodal
So
distribution.
just like constantly going to condescending type talk is not going to be. for
I'm
you.
You're trying to
saying.
match your
Like-
energy with the people that you
All
treated.
all because we don't know what the heck this weird terminology is doesn't make us. I guess by definition, it'll probably make us less intelligent, but wisdom trumps intelligence. You can read that in the scripture, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it didn't say wisdom is the fear of God. Actually, it did. It didn't say that intelligence was the fear of God. It said wisdom was. So
that we're trying to have a
Got
conversation.
I
it.
think wisdom
So
more important.
Trans
It seems
women
like-
are not women. Do you
Okay.
agree with that?
I would say that trans women are women because people that
And you say that, but you trying to make yourself seem smarter than him. You got to be kidding
exist
me.
under the
With
category
this.
of women, people that exist under the category of men are still
Got it.
humans.
So that category, how
It's
is
like, bro, all these dudes that be saying that, a lot of these dudes don't even date them. Go ahead and date them then. You want to be so true to the cause? Go all the way, homeboy. Go all the way. Otherwise, you're a fake. You just using them for your own advantage. Huh? What's that? Jude 1:16. Read that verse.
Defined.
Well, I wouldn't limit it to things like genitals or things like chromosomes, which seems like you want to do. What type of genitals would you say I have, since
I
you're
don't
so
know.
obsessed with genitals?
How the freak
I'm not
would I-
obsessed with genitals, but I could do a blood sampling right now and I could see exactly what you are, because every single one of your trillions of cells are either coded with XX or XY. No matter how much surgery,
That's it.
whatever. I think that you are a man, but you could fool me. You could take hormones. You
Might
could
be a
play
girl,
camouflage.
yeah.
Like I could fool you to be Hispanic if I had the right Hollywood makeup director. That doesn't mean that you are the thing, though.
But you're
Exactly.
going from an objective biological perspective, which we've already talked about with sex. I'm talking about a social construct or a social utility.
Yeah.
I want to play Whitey. Maybe stop. Why that be some joke? I think that was actually one of my nicknames at the lunch table. I don't know where it came from. I was like, what? I don't get it.
So like if we were at a restaurant, right? I'm sitting
I
down
think
at
you're a man.
and I'm sitting down at the table, and you're telling the waiter, "Hey, I want to go sit with blank. What would you use?"
With
He
you?
doesn't know my name. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm
with-
sitting
with
over there.
That guy.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
That guy. You're gonna typically use he or him, or you're gonna say
Yeah,
that guy. Like
why
you
not?
said.
Correct.
Because you're ascribing the male gender to me based on my
Yes, and
performative
I
characteristics.
say I could be an error. Maybe you are a biological woman.
And then you'd
that
correct
takes-
yourself, right?
That take maybe.
Heck
maybe
no.
not.
So that's what we. That is
That's
exactly
I ain't
what
correcting
we're trying to say.
anything. You
so
correct
the
yourself.
question is that, do you think that
And be what the Lord brought you here to be.
womanhood can then be assumed just through costume design?
It's not costume design.
What is it then?
It's performative social
Oh,
characteristics.
performative. So you could
yes,
you could act
that's
it.
what gender is.
Okay,
great
got
job.
it. So you
Yes.
could it's like a theater troupe.
It's not a theater troupe. These are social. These are social
womanhood can
categories.
be appropriated.
No, they're
Yep.
they're categories. That's
Yep.
what it is.
So there's nothing inherent about the
You know how they say cultural appropriation? That gender appropriation.
chromosomes. There's nothing that.
Correct. Yes.
Wow, we disagree. So there's nothing inherent about having a period or being able to give birth or the specific hormonal
In
makeup.
different cultures, we've ascribed that to womanhood. If you go back to other cultures spanning thousands of
Yeah,
years,
for sure.
you'll see a difference when
No,
it
I
comes
know.
to those
Like
types
for
of
example, the
categories.
Mayans had plenty of people that were schizophrenic, right? So that means nothing to me, right?
Exactly.
Okay, we have people that say they're hearing things from God. Would you say that's schizophrenic?
Well, not
Nope.
necessarily. It built Western civilization and
Okay,
common
cool.
law and due process and
All right.
individual rights.
I just
and
wanted to hear that your
defense of the unborn and the greatest civilization ever. You know, that voice from God happened to build the greatest nation ever to exist in the history of the world. That's
okay,
fine.
I think the Mayans would say the same thing. That's the problem with presupposition.
That's the truth. Lies do not apply.
Arguments
let's go down.
is that you could say
Can
anything.
we go visit
I mean,
them?
God's telling me
Can we
right
go
now
visit
that
the Mayan
you're a
nation?
fish. Do you think that's real?
Can we go visit the Mayan nation? They didn't last that long, did they?
Yeah, over killing and violence, and you can justify that if you like.
You mean
if
all
like
the
keep
child
going into it.
sacrifice
And
they
this is
did
the
on the
condescending
top of
tone that
temples?
why I'm trying to match.
Whoa.
it is because
You mean
I'm
all the
just
child
matching energy.
sacrifice the
They probably did that to
Mayans
Moloch.
did on the top of temples? Great
Do
civilization.
you want to go back into the
But-
Old Testament? Let's bring Parker up in here
But-
and talk about
hold
all
on,
the
wait,
child
hold on, no.
child marriage,
Wait,
and we can talk
wait,
about the
wait.
justification of
Who's
rape.
Parker?
Where was child sacrifice ever?
Don't tell me it's a loudmouth that speak
when
too
Isaac,
fast.
Isaac was
Oh,
almost fucking
hold on.
sacrificed
Well, hold
by
on.
his dad.
He wasn't though, because at the beginning
He
of
wasn't.
Genesis,
So God just
hold
said
on.
like, nah, just kidding, dog.
Yeah,
Don't actually
you know
kill
what?
Oh, so we have a second one that's mad at God. So what's this? The mad at God click? Be a Satanist then. Shoot.
Because at the
See
beginning
how
of
far
Genesis
you go
16 said, I'm going to test
before
to
that
Abraham.
silver lining
Stop.
is
Yeah,
cut.
That's right. So now you know it. So actually, there was no child sacrifice in the Bible. It was a prohibition on child sacrifice in the Bible. But anyway,
Gotcha.
It
that's
was
a little bit
against
of a rabbit
it,
hole. Do you
of course.
understand at least? Can you sympathize with our perspective?
Okay.
That
I'll calm it down a little bit. I apologize for the
no,
condescension.
it's fine. I mean,
but
Nah.
it's fine. But like, did you see where this could get wildly out of control? At least on the
I
extreme.
don't see how to get out of
Okay.
control because
Even in sports, for example, you think that there's
Okay.
there's no.
So this is something that we might be able to agree upon, right? Sports were not archaeologically dug up, right? The rules of sports, they are things that we've created as a society. We have decided as a society the most fair categorization is male sports and female sports. Now, as we've been able to understand, or at least bring into the forefront, people who don't identify with the binary, we still have to allow all people that are women in the women's category and all men that are men in the women's category. That includes cis and trans. If you'd like to change that category because you think it's unfair, we can do that. That's what's awesome about arbitrary rules is we can
So,
decide hormones.
I might not know this, but like when the Greeks started the Olympics 2,000 years ago, did they have like a bunch of dudes wrestling with women?
I don't even
Did
think
they?
they allowed women to compete.
Well,
I might be wrong on that,
but that kind of proves the point, though, that there was a
Yeah, and what did we do to allow women?
Separate
We
it.
changed the rules.
right. No, but that by definition, therefore,
Yeah, we probably freaked up in that regard. Not look where we at.
where there is something from body composition, bone mass, lung density, testosterone, and estrogen rates.
Yeah.
Your endocrinology is
So
different.
if you'd say the majority of males in the bimodal distribution graph, we're going back to that, you can say, hey, we want this level of hormones in this particular category, and we can separate it by hormones. I agree with you that a majority of men or majority of
Well,
cis
not even
men
majority. You got to be like 99.9%.
The man said sis.
I don't know. Ronda Rousey could kick my ass. I will say that.
Hey, that's on you. You gonna let her do that?
No, for sure. But
Okay.
I mean, but could she kick Conor McGregor's ass?
Well, now we're talking about the peaks, right?
But, no, but
the
she's
peaks
at the
of
peak, though.
cisgender.
No, because you're talking about the peaks of two different
But Conor McGregor not even a heavyweight, so nah.
categories in the same sort of.
Right, because why? She's a cis woman.
She's a cis woman, and
Correct.
he's
A cis man.
But yes, and he
Correct.
could kick her tail, right?
Yes, I would agree.
Oh, okay, for sure, right?
Because cis men and cis women have different hormone levels.
No,
if you want to change the hormones, we can change the categorization.
but
you're saying that you want men and women, bar none, and you say that's the most fair category. Then we have to allow all women and all men.
Well, but again, those things don't. So I just want to be clear. So because I
To be honest though, even if you put a dude below her weight class against a bad idea.
think I'm tracking your argument, is that in the University of Pennsylvania swim team, when Thomas swam against biological women, you're perfectly fine with that.
I think as long as we have the categories that
Mason.
way.
Thanks.
Good to meet you.
Yeah.
No, it's not fair. He was trying to say that jump fair. That
I
ain't
never
fair.
thought that
That
the shirt
Thomas
I wore
lady.
to school one spring
or the-
morning
or
would
the-
lead to a federal lawsuit, but the reaction from the adults running my school didn't leave me with much choice. My school spends all of June expressing its view on LGBTQ+ issues, and school officials encourage us to wear our pride gear to celebrate Pride Month. Like my teachers
I ain't
and
wearing
principal,
anything.
I have
I'm
beliefs
glad I ain't
too,
in school
and
no
I'm
more.
not shy about sharing them.
I would not wear
I
that.
believe there are only two sexes, male and female, and I believe what we call a person's
Oh,
gender,
you gonna fail the class?
whether
I'm gonna
someone is
fail the
man or
class.
woman, boy or girl,
All right then.
has everything to do with whether their sex is male or female.
I'll be back in here. Is
This
that a
view is
threat?
backed
Nah,
up
there
by
ain't no threat.
science,
It's a
and even though the
promise.
administrators at my
I'll be
school would like me to
back.
think I'm alone in holding this view,
Run through that mother. I'm gonna run through the front with a vehicle, like freaking Terminator. They were like, "Oh, you failed the class." I'm like, "Why?" They because you refused to wear. You could have at least just wore a sticker, but you're phobic, so you failed the class. I'd be like, "Did I not do all my assignments?" Yes, you did, but this was a assignment, a test grade, and you didn't do it, and now you have a 0. So I'd be like, okay, so I got a 0%. That was a test grade, which is gonna drop what I have in this class, which is 81 B minus. It's gonna drop it to what now? Or to an F. I'm like, where they do that at? Also, yeah, it's worth 2 test grades. I'm like, you said it was worth 1. I never said how many. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like Terminator. I'm like, I'll be back. No, I'm just playing.
I know I'm not. Many of my classmates agree. So, on that spring morning, I got right
now
to
that's a shirt I would wear to school
point.
if I was still in it.
There are only 2 genders. It was still first period when my principal pulled me out of class. I was told that people were complaining about the words on my shirt.
Why they
that
worried
the
about
words
it
on my
for?
shirt might make some
I
students
ain't worried
feel
about y'all shirt.
unsafe. That's right. They admitted the possibility that some words on a shirt might make people feel unsafe was enough to silence my speech. Speech on a topic that already floods the school. Rather than respecting my right to free speech, officials chose to censor me twice.
Man, y'all support Liam or whatever my man name is, or is it Liam? That's freaked up. Alright, we back in again. This is part 2. Like I told y'all, man, this junk is very long, so and my 5G so-called internet can't really handle all that. The upload speed is it's so slow that it'll just time out. You know, or it's say unable to do this, or it's say, oh, connect to Wi-Fi. I'm like, man, what the fuck? But look, man, this part 2 right here, man. Glory to God. God is good. We're here again on another day. Cause you know tomorrow ain't promised. Because life is a vapor, like King David would say in the book of Psalms. Or was that in the book of Proverbs? Maybe Solomon said it in the book of Proverbs. Life is a vapor. Or what my man saying in that song? I'm just a vapor. I want to be right here, yeah. Just in case you don't know that song, that's Young Young Bro featuring Brian T. That's hard right there. Some of the hardest stuff. Some of the hardest stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? Besides my man Bryson, there's some of the hardest stuff out there. Let me see. Yeah, let's start this off, man. I know this is going left. Especially if they let that tall, long neck girl up there again. I call her Miss Giraffe or something. I forget the actress name that she looked like. Let me stop. I ain't right for that. Lord, please forgive me. Hey, man, hold up. Man,
This
damn, I couldn't even get in here.
You're not ready for it.
I already hit with a commercial. What is Star Wars or this Halo? Come on, man. I don't even have Xbox. PC Gamer, it says. Eve Online. I don't know what the heck that is.
Beautiful sci-fi environment.
Nah, man, I want to play 2050. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm just playing.
Description to check it out. By clicking that link, you're not just supporting this channel. You're also supporting a group of journalists.
You told me
raising the
yesterday,
bar on
man.
News and focusing on serving
I'm broke.
straight facts. Thanks again to Straight Arrow News for partnering with us on this episode.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let's get into it.